Hello, everyone. Thank y'all for joining and everything. It's not unusual, I know, but forgive me. But we're running a little bit late. I guess we got a little bit behind, and I don't know what baby dog's doing here, but she thinks we've changed a few things around, because we're getting ready to leave, and it's hard to believe, to tell you the honest truth, but time has surely gone and gone very quickly. But we were at elementary school in White Sulphur Springs this morning. White Sulphur Springs doesn't have a gymnasium, and we're doing, the SBA, elected to do some improvements at the school and build a new gymnasium, and that's great news for White Sulphur. And we just haven't been able to get there yet, and so we went there this morning, and that's where we got a little bit behind. All that being said. Like I said just a second ago, this is my last briefing. I surely appreciate everybody coming, but if I could just reflect back just a second about briefings. I'll never, ever forget in my life, the fact that what happened, with COVID. And it was, give you all this, everything, get rid of that too. But when COVID hit and everything, we decided we were going to have this briefing, and we did. And then I said, we're going to have another briefing, in a couple of days. We're going to have that briefing on, let's just pick a date, Thursday. And I'll never forget one of the reporters said, "Are you going to be there?" And I said, "I'll be there." And since that time, literally, we have had, hundreds of briefings. And I very proudly can tell you that every single one of the briefings I've been there. And it's been a big honor to be able to sit and talk with the great people of West Virginia. I always refer to the voters as Toby and Edith. And there was a time when Toby and Edith really, really needed someone to come and talk to them. Someone that was going to tell them the truth. Someone that's doing this job for the right reason and only that reason. You see, I'm a real believer that what we all should be doing, and there's so many that do, and there's so many that really have self-interest in mind. But with all that being said, what we should do is we should do what our forefathers did. They stepped up. They served. They did the right thing and everything. And they, in many situations, they lost a lot of the stuff that they had, if not all the stuff. And really and truly, when it really boiled right down to it, they lost their farms, they lost their businesses, whatever it may be. But they stepped up to create this country, to serve. And with all that being said, I hope that when I leave and I walk out the door, and I don't know what in the world has got into baby dog today, but I guess just moving the stuff around and everything, moving stuff out. But I hope to goodness that when I walk out the door, you'll think the one thing Jim did is he drove himself. He didn't take a salary. He put all of his money into communities and schools, and really he did exactly what he should have done. He served, and he told us the truth. And so, with all that being said, after hundreds of briefings and everything, we're going to have our last one today. And so let me get through this, and let me do this as quickly as I possibly can. And then we'll have some reflection on words and everything. But today we've got some more good news to announce. I just joined 29 other Republican governors in supporting President Trump's, his Dodge initiative and everything, and that's basically streamlining our government, cutting out all this red tape that you can possibly cut out, absolutely stopping the unnecessary things that we're doing, eliminate waste. And there's great folks that are working on this and everything, but our government is just bloated beyond belief. I have now had the opportunity to have a small taste of it, but I'm sure I'll have a whole lot more. I am very, very, very proud to tell you that, as I've done many times, I have a really special relationship with President Trump. You know, he trusts me, and he's a true friend, as his family. And I'm not going to let him down and everything. And I'm going to do any and everything I can do to help him. I'm not going to bug him. I'm not going to bug him with all kinds of names and things I want. You know, I'm going to be there to try to help him, and he knows that. He knows that he's got a real buddy in who he calls Big Jim all the time. And so I absolutely have known him a long time. I've got all the confidence in the world in him, and we're going to absolutely shake up the world. And I'm really proud to be a really small part, but I'm going to stand ready to be whatever part that he needs me to be. We got a new company coming to West Virginia, Wayne Novak, you know, and that name is really, really popular as a as a world famous pistol smith. You know, they're coming to Parkersburg. They're going to manufacture a gun that is all about West Virginia wood, and on and on and on. And, you know, we're really, really proud to announce that they're coming. You know, they're bringing their firearm industry to West Virginia. And with all that being said, we hope that that's going to just grow and grow and grow. We also have a fellow that's been going into our West Virginia Veterans Hall of Fame. That's Phil Gene McDonald. But, you know, here's a fellow that served in the Vietnam War. He was 26 years of age at that time and everything. I'm going to just read you just a little bit, but Phil McDonald's story is one of the most incredible courage and selflessness, you know, story that could be told. He was 26 years old. He was drafted into the Army and served in the 4th Infantry Division in Vietnam. On June 7th, Phil was serving as a team leader when his platoon came under heavy fire from a well-hidden enemy force. Without hesitation, Phil volunteered to carry out one of the most dangerous tasks of all, escorting 2 wounded soldiers to safety under enemy fire. Later, despite being wounded, he stayed behind to cover his platoon's retreat, ultimately sacrificing his own life to save others. You know, the bravery and the contribution of West Virginia folks is off the chart. That's all there is to it. And we should always, always remember, you know, for his bravery, President Nixon, you know, awarded Phil the Medal of Honor. You know, it is just unbelievable when you really think about it. So all I can say is what I've said a million times over. We owe everything we have, and don't you ever forget it. We owe everything we have to our military, to our active military, to our veterans that have absolutely done so much and sacrificed so much. You know, the thing that I'll never forget till I die. You know, I was down at one of the veterans facilities at Barbersville early on. I said, what can I do to help? And really and truly, they asked almost nothing. It was really to just exempt their tax, you know, on military, you know, pays that were coming and everything. And I went back, I told them, I said, I'll do everything I possibly can. Everything I possibly can. I said, do you have any idea really what that savings or what that tax would be to the state? And they said, well, you know, we've heard it's $2 or $3 million. I said, really? Or, you know, I said to myself, are you kidding me? You just think what these people have given all of us. And they're asking for something that's almost nothing. And they do it all the time. You know, when they ask for something, it is almost nothing. They have given everything, and they ask for almost nothing. We should be standing up, trying to do anything and everything we can. I think about what the National Guard's done. It's just unbelievable. And they continue to do it. I mean, just the other day, when we have to declare a state of emergency, who do we call? Who do we call? The National Guard, right off the get-go. You know, it is unbelievable what they've given. And so all I can do is just thank and ask them to just keep on doing everything they possibly can to help us every way. Here's some really good news. You know, we have the inbound migration in 2024. According to the latest United Van Lines report, West Virginia is the #1 state. We've had 66% more people move into our state than any other state. You know, it's just, I'm sure all this is rated in certain ways, and I don't know all the mechanics of how it's all rated and everything, but I've been telling you forevermore, West Virginia is that diamond in the rough we've all missed. West Virginia is just, I mean, just think about it. All you got to do is just go back and just think. You know, 4 incredible seasons. The very, very best people on the planet. They're neighbors. They're faith-based. They're low crime. They're the best craftsmen anywhere. They're just off the chart good. Unbelievable natural resources that we have. And we're located within a rock's throw of 2/3 of the population of the country. Well, why not us? Why in the world not us? You know, when I ran the first time, I had big posters or big billboards put up and said, "Are you tired of being 50th?" You know, we were in and please don't get upset with me, but we were in a constant contest all the time with Mississippi on who was going to be dead last in this country. In everything. You know, at my first State of the State address, basically I said, we've got to put a stake in the sand and make education our centerpiece. Why did I do it? I did it because we had to get at changing our image. We know how good we are. We still know how good we are. But the outside world didn't know it. And we had to absolutely some way, somehow, connect with the outside world. We had to become what I've said to you over and over and over. We had to become frogs that were proud of our own pond. You know, we did. We restored a lot of hope. We restored absolute pride. And absolutely the world awakened to who we are. Here they're doing it again. The world awakened to West Virginia. And literally they're coming. Not only are they coming, you know, of all things, think about a travel guide, worldwide travel guides that say West Virginia is the place you ought to go. You know, this old, you know, idea of West Virginia is a bad place, the roads are terrible, you know, the people are not educated, you know, the people can't do anything, absolutely bad joke after bad joke. They're going away, haven't they? You know, absolutely, West Virginia, the diamond in the rough that everybody missed. If there's anything in the world that I could have given you when I came in on day one, that would have been the wish list, the #1 thing. And lo and behold, it's happening. It's happening everywhere. And absolutely nobody will ever be able to take that away from me. You know, I am absolutely so proud of this great state. And I love our people beyond good sense. I've said it so many times. It's you know, it's just amazing to me just how good we really are and how proud I am that the world's awakening to just that. Okay, just a few more announcements real quick and everything. We were at CAMC the other day, and they're putting in, you know, all this new technology and everything in regard to to neurology work and everything. They're creating a neuroscience institute at CAMC. You know, we were able to give them a few dollars and everything. It was $5 million and everything to kind of get them over the top and where this could become a reality and everything. And I just saw Senator Capito out here. I watched her on TV last night with President Trump and everything, and what an incredible job she's done and everything. And she was instrumental in getting a bunch of, you know, federal money into this project, and it'll just make it so much better for people in West Virginia instead of having to travel all over the place for some really, really technical care in regard to, you know, all the different things that can happen from neurology issues and everything. It's really, really, really great to be able to have, you know, those kind of resources and those kind of, you know, resources in our hospitals right here. You know, I've said I could talk to you all day, but when it really boils right down to it, I've said these things so many times, whether it be our airports or whether it be our hospitals. Our rural hospitals are the lifeblood of our communities as well as our airports. And this is not rocket science. You know, if you'll really take care of the store, not spend money frivolously, you'll really serve and do what you should be doing and everything. And you'll really recognize that really the things that are the top of the list are things like our airports, are things like our rural hospitals, taking care of Toby and Edith as you should, mind the store, get the economics right, absolutely try to enhance, to bring all kinds of other businesses to this great state. These are the building stones that you have to do. And I'm sure that Governor Morrissey and you know, I think about Patrick and Denise, and I wish them the very, very best. I want more goodness to happen. Why in the world would we want to stub our toe now? And I'll talk about that more in just a second. I want to talk about, you know, all these things right here real quick. But we were at Bridgeport the other day. You know, the Bridgeport complex is unbelievable. You know, that facility not only serves, you know, our older adults and everything as far as walking and doing things, you know, to help, you know, their cardio and all that kind of stuff, but it absolutely serves to attract our youth. It's an economic development driver. They had 50 events there last year. We did it, you know, the 1.8 million will help them, you know, artificially turf, you know, soccer fields or lacrosse fields and everything. It is an economic driver off the chart. We have one of these facilities, you know, down in the western end of southern West Virginia, at Logan now, one going in over on the eastern side. You know, we have Milan Park and everything. And these facilities are major economic drivers, and they help our kids. Guys, they help our kids. You know, when it really boils right down to it and everything, they're a real driver for the youth in the communities and the surrounding areas. So we're really proud of this. You know, I had the opportunity to swear in Larry Pack as our treasurer. You know, and I've got to say this real quick. But Larry has served as a delegate. He served as a senior advisor to me. He served as our Secretary of Revenue, and now he's going to be our treasurer. I'm telling y'all, you better listen to me. This is a real deal guy, really smart, a guy that's doing this for the right reason. He doesn't have to do it. You know, he has all the wealth in the world to be able to do what he wants to do, but he's choosing to serve the people of this great state. And he and Lisa are great friends, and they're a great team, and we're really thankful for all he does and all he's continued to do. You know, real deal guy. Okay, last couple of things. Kathy gave her final remarks in regard to, you know, a little bit about communities and schools, but more about, you know, this rhododendron award that she just gave out. You know, and so, you know, it's just Margaret Ann O'Neill was the recipient, and Margaret Ann's been a friend of the family as well, Sean, and they've done a lot of great work in the Beckley area and all through our state. So we congratulate them in every way, and I congratulate Kathy before I go. You know, she's done phenomenal work with communities and schools. She's done phenomenal work with the therapy dog, you know, or the really, I don't know if you should say therapy dog, but I think it's called Friends with Paws. But you know, placing these dogs at the schools, I think she placed 45 dogs, you know, while she was here at the different schools, and what these dogs do is unbelievable. I mean, that's just all there is to it. You know, if you'll just go to a school that has one of these dogs, you can't believe it. The students, the teachers, the community has fallen in love with the dog. And the dog gives back so much love, it's unbelievable. And I told this story, you know, in my last remarks just the other day, you know, to the legislature and everything, and I don't want to get all choked up, you know, about this and everything, but, you know, one of these dogs that Pineville Elementary and a young kid that's, severely handicapped, was having trouble getting him to go to school and everything. And there he was, and, he was reading to the dog. And the question was asked of him, well, what kind of day are you having? And he looked right at him, and said, best day ever. It's just amazing work out of kindness. Kathy has got a heart as big as Texas, and she loves children, and now she's serving on our state board, but she'll do great there. But I can't tell you, and I mean this with all my soul, this communities and schools thing, sure they've got some issues on a national scene, but in West Virginia, the model of what we've done, is just basically this. It's all centered around helping a child with an issue. Could be anything. Could be they're hungry. Could be a problem at home, needing somebody to talk to. Could be needing a toothbrush. I mean, it's could be cold and needing a coat, and there's people there that have that stuff, and they're able to give it to them, and absolutely able to talk to them. There may be a problem in a classroom that's disrupting 20 other kids, but these kids are excelling now, and this program is a winner. It isn't kind of a winner. I have no reason in the world to tell you anything that is not something that I don't believe with any part of me. This is a program that absolutely, I'm in the schools an awful lot. I've coached forever. I'm in the schools a lot because I want to be with the kids and everything. And it is a phenomenal program. And Kathy, you should be really, really proud. You've done a great job with this. And forevermore, it's helped a pile of kids and everything, and it'll continue to do so. I guess the last things are, if I could talk to you just 1 second about Union Mission. We were there the other day. We were able to give $750,000 to Union Mission. They do unbelievable work, and their facilities are helping a lot of great people across the state, especially a lot of West Virginians, and this is going to help them be able to, they have issues, guys. I mean, it's just as simple as that. They have, the roofs are bad, this and that and everything. There's all kinds of things, all kinds of need for the folks that they're trying to help and to be able to expand, to be able to help more. And so Union Mission has done phenomenal work for a long time and everything. We congratulate them. And the other thing is, there's the other economic development, announcement was in Putnam County. There's folks that are coming, and I want to get the name exactly right. I believe it was Capital Investment, if I've got that right and everything. But I'll get to that in just 1 second. But what they're coming to do is they're coming to build 650 homes, in Putnam County, because we have a housing crisis the nation does, but we do in West Virginia as well. Because we got people that are coming to West Virginia to work and everything. They've got to have places to live. They want to come here and move in. Just today, I spoke to 2 different people at White Sulphur Springs Elementary. They had kids in the school. And one lady was from Maryland, the other lady was from Tennessee. They'd moved to West Virginia, and they said, we just love it here. Actually, I take that back. One lady was from Indiana, but they said, it is so unbelievably beautiful, and the people are the greatest. Well, you hear it and you hear it and you hear it, but we've got to have housing for the people that want to come. We think about Nucor and what all's going on there, and the billions of dollars that are going to happen within West Virginia. The word is transformational. That's what's happening all across this great state, and we need to be able to keep it going. So, I want to read you this real quick. We celebrated in Hurricane, with a groundbreaking of a new $650 residential units, which will help us address the housing needs for so many businesses coming to West Virginia. I want to read one more thing. Since we started the Economic Enhancement Grant Fund, we've delivered over $2.3 billion in investments all across the state, supporting our, major water and sewer and infrastructure. It's great stuff. It's just great stuff. And like I said, we could talk about it for a long, long, long time, but I'm trying to get through as quickly as I possibly can. The other announcement was we were at Fairmont the other day, and Fairmont Aviation is doing good stuff there, and and basically, it's a thing that's happening within Fairmont State, and we delivered a couple $1 million to them to where they can perpetuate their aviation center that they have, and basically they to bring their enrollment capacity up to 100. It's just and every single person that they pump out and everything, it has an instantaneous job because the aviation industry in that area is really, really growing. The only other thing is, I appreciate the legislature, Roger Hanshaw in the House, inviting me to come over and everything and deliver, my last words to the House and Senate, and before we get out the door. But all I can say is just this: is I want you to just listen to me just a few seconds. If you'll think about this of where we are today, today we have come a long ways down the road. We know that. It started out pretty doggone tough times. And anybody that was a business guy could have looked at the books real fast and they would have said exactly the same thing. You're bankrupt. West Virginia, you're bankrupt. And on day one, when we walked in the door, that's basically where we were. Now, we can say what we want, but that's exactly what was happening. We had drained our rainy day fund to the level that our bonds were getting ready to be derated. It was tough times. And the only thing that we could come up with was, well, the only way out of this is we just got to cut more things. We got to cut more waste out of it. And every time we cut more and more and more into the lifeblood of who we are, more people left. And when they left, they took their revenue with them. And all of a sudden, we cut more, we turned around, and the hole got bigger and just kept coming right with us. At the end of the day, you needed somebody with a different idea. I really give credit to the God above, because really, when it really boils right down to it, we have had a miracle happen in West Virginia like you can't imagine. Good ideas come from God above, and then we're expected to do something with them. You see, that's how I see the whole process. All of a sudden, we came up with the idea of Roads to Prosperity. On October the 7th, way back when, the voters voted by almost 73%, when we had so many naysayers that said they're not going to vote for this. And, in all fairness, I went all over the place and sat on a stool and answered their questions over and over and over, day after day, all day, day after day after day. A lot of days way up into the nights. And I answered every question that they would fire at me and everything. They were really concerned that we would have to raise taxes and taxes and taxes going forward. And what did we do going forward? We cut taxes and taxes and taxes 27 different times. And through all that now, our roads are something to behold. We're making real progress in education. I think SBA has given out $1.1 billion for schools to either renovate or build new. And so our facilities are getting better. We have spent, if you bring in everything, broadband and everything, I think we've spent almost $14 billion, in helping our roads and broadband and our water and sewer and on and on and on. With all that being said, what does that do? It changes our standard of life. Our standard of life, basically, if you look at our standard of life, the first thing people look at when they want to come to West Virginia is how's the schools? Well, they may not be perfect, but I can tell you just this. Just like I said today, if you pull the kids out of the class and you say, well, what about Miss Lily? What kind of teacher is she? I'll bet you overwhelmingly they will say, oh, we love our teacher. And then you go get Miss Lily and pull her out in the hall and say, what do you think about your kids? And she says, oh, I love my kids. And then you go downtown and you find somebody walking the street and you say, what about your school, the school that's in this community? Oh, we love our school. Well, if that be the case, if the kids love the teachers and the teachers love the kids and the community loves its school, then we have got a lot of good going on in our schools in West Virginia. And we can make them better, no question whatsoever. But we should be really, really proud of what we've been able to do. I'll ask you before I turn off here just this. Tourism has exploded in West Virginia. It is doing so well, it's off the chart. $9 billion is our annual spend that's going on for visitors coming into the state of West Virginia. Well, why? Why? Because absolutely today, we are that diamond in the rough that everybody missed. I'll tell you just as sincere as I can possibly be, we put real money in our state parks. We upgraded our state parks. Through the great work of our senators and on and on and on, we have a new national park in West Virginia, and we've added a new state park as well. There's so much that's been done, and there's still so much that can be done. Like I said just a little while ago, I wish Patrick and Denise the very, very, very best. I want so much goodness for them, it's off the chart. I'll stand ready to come, not running, but walking real fast, to try to do any and everything I possibly can. Absolutely, as a senator, I want to try to bring so much more goodness to West Virginia, and I'll work tirelessly to do just that. I really believe that the future is really bright. For those that believe, oh gosh, what are we going to do and everything? Are we just going to drift right back into the old, where we cut and people left, where we absolutely didn't know what to do, we didn't have the right ideas? I hope and pray not. I hope and pray not in every way. Along the way, we took a real cannonball right to the stomach with COVID. Nobody knew what to do. But some way, somehow, we had the right answer in West Virginia. And here's the right answer. It's just as simple as this. We all pulled the rope together. We told the people the truth. And absolutely, they believed in us, and they pulled the rope right with us every day. Great people of West Virginia are the best of the best. We shouldn't ever, ever, ever forget it. And one thing I am super proud of is I'm leaving different buckets across West Virginia, whether it be rainy day funds or it be our PIT fund or whatever, of well in excess of $2 billion. In all honesty, we got to take it now and go with it. I mean, we didn't have a pot to pee in on day one. And now we are absolutely have buckets of dollars that off the chart. And anybody that doesn't believe that's living in a cave. We have so much optimism and so many things that are going on right now in West Virginia. We got to go. We have got to go. We got to go right this second. So West Virginia, in every way, be demanding of the folks that are running the show, your legislatures, the governor, everybody. Be demanding. We want more and more and more goodness. You did that with me. You pushed me. You pushed me all the time, and I loved it. Because when I needed you, you were always right there. And one of the things, you asked me, what is the top priority going to the Senate? Well, top priorities, in my opinion, are all the different things we've got to make America the way America needs to be. Great, proud, dependable, absolutely, and we can do that in this country for absolutely certain. I'm sure we'll do it. But we've also got to remember just this. I've said so many times, you can't cut your way out of most messes. You've got to mind the store correctly. We kept almost a flat budget forever. And absolutely, with all that being said now, what did we do? We kept a flat budget, and we tried to grow our revenue. And lo and behold, we pulled it off. We had revenue growing, and we kept the budget relatively flat. We didn't bloat ourselves by absolutely doing pet projects. We absolutely minded the store. Now, with all that being said, you got to mind the store in West Virginia, and we got to mind the store in this country. We got to get rid of a lot of this bloated nonsense, a lot of the red tape nonsense. We've got to get back to being America the way America was founded and the way we ought to be. And I'm positive that Donald Trump will do exactly just that. And absolutely, I'll be proud to serve and assist him any way I possibly can. And that's what I'll do. But the other thing we got to do in America is we have got to grow revenue. And right underneath our feet, right this minute, is the revenue that we've got to grow. Energy. Energy is the key to absolutely everything. And we can say what we want, but I will promise you at the end of the day, it will be energy is the key to everything, period. Now, with all that being said, just think about it just for a second. Throughout all time, if you go back and research, you will find just this. The only way civilization ever succeeded and went ahead was through absolutely clean and abundant and cheap energy. That's it. A long time ago, it wasn't clean, but with all that being said, it was abundant and it was cheap. If you don't have energy as the number one key to absolutely your success, you're really missing the boat. So with all that being said, we've got to get at the absolute things that we are really great at. China's building a coal-fired power plant every day. India's building them right along. Absolutely, are we going to absolutely blow our own legs off? You know, maybe someday all the alternatives will absolutely be able to rule the day. We want to continue to work towards that. We want to embrace the alternatives. I am an all-in guy, but at the same time, I'm not an all-in guy to blow our own legs off today. It's crazy to do that. Absolutely, we need to support our coal miners. Natural gas should be the top of the list. It is phenomenal what is absolutely out there and the potentials for natural gas. You know, come on, America. Come on. Let's get with it. We can be the Saudi Arabia of the world. We can control what's happening in the energy markets all across this world. We have so much potential energy right now. It is off the chart. We can lead the way with hydrogen. We can lead the way with our alternatives. But energy is the key. Energy is the key. And West Virginia is positioned terrifically, you know, to be a real player in the key to success as we go forward. You know, all I'll end up departing and saying is just this. You know, Mitch McConnell was the leader of a Senate for a long, long time. You know, he said something that it was really profound to me. But you know, and I'm going to carry it with me forever. You know, but I was with him and you know, from time to time I'm in the airplane or in the helicopter or whatever. You know, I don't use our state helicopter. I've been in it one time since I've been your governor. But let me tell you just this: if I happen to be in an airplane or our helicopter or whatever it may be, you know, and it's late in the evening or it's even after dark, and as far as you can possibly see, you know, there's a little twinkle light here and twinkle light here and there, you know, and I oftentimes say this, that this is how significant this job is. Every one of those little twinkles of lights are dependent on me. Do not screw it up. Try to do everything and anything I can to help them. You know, you may wonder, well, you know, why doesn't Jim just retire and go hunt and fish and enjoy the rest of his life. And I really believe this. I really believe that God made me Jim Justice for a reason. And I really believe that God made you who you are for a reason. And I would say, if you choose, retirement or whatever, it's great. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. And that's your choice. But in my world, I really believe that God above, if I just hang out and would hunt and fish and just hang out and do the things I really like to do and everything, I really believe at the end of the day, the good Lord looks back at me and says, I made you Jim Justice for a reason. And you have a real creative mind and all the right instincts and everything. And I'm really not happy with what you're doing. Well, that's the end of the story to me. So as long as he gives me breath, I'm going to keep on digging and keep on trying to do anything and everything I possibly can. And with that, that's what drove the decision primarily for me to run for the Senate. But I want to tell you what Mitch McConnell said before I leave. He came up to me and stuck his hand out. We were at the election for the new leader of the Senate, John Thune. And when we were there, he stuck his hand out and he said, Jim, how you doing? He came to my house, and he said, when I came to your house and I talked to you about running for the Senate, he said, when you looked at me and that day, you absolutely made the commitment that you were going to do it. On that day, on that very day, it will go down in history, and this is exactly what he said, is on that day, we knew as Republicans we were going to be 50-50. And we changed our strategy from absolutely always being on the defense to going on the offensive. And absolutely that day in many ways changed the path of our nation on a good path. Now, you don't get that told to you very often by somebody as such a dignitary, somebody that's been such an unbelievable leader of this country in so many different ways, so much knowledge and everything. But when someone looks at you and says, on that day, you really made a difference in the path forward of our nation, I'll never forget it as long as I live. But all I want to do is exactly just this. And this is my last words. I want to do just what I've done over and over and over. I want to try to help. I want to serve. And I don't want one single thing from me. Not one single thing. I've never asked for anything other than the fact that, I really want your love. And absolutely, I want to deliver. And I want to go out and you be proud of me. The last of my last is just this. I could have been sworn in on January the 3rd. And many, many people were pushing me to do that. And I just felt like just this. We were going to end up with 4 governors in 10 days. You didn't sign me up for that job. You signed me up to be your governor for the time that I was supposed to be your governor. At the end of the day, if I'd have done that, we had a state of emergency happen, boom, right in the middle of that 10-day period. And really, we had to react. We had to do the right stuff. And I think we did. We declared a state of emergency, and we got the National Guard ready to help people and everything. And I ask you, before I leave, just be safe. Be safe. We've still got wintertime going on, and it's pretty severe in a lot of places. Check on people. Check on your neighbors and everything. If there's an elderly person and everything, living by themselves, please, please, please check on them. Go help if you can. Do what West Virginians are great at all the time. Just remember, Kathy and I love you with all of our soul. Our whole family does. We thank you. It's been the honor of my life in many, many ways and everything. I'll never forget it. And I hope you never forget us and everything. God bless you. Please keep us in our prayers as well. Thank you again for everything. God bless.